Since I was like 13, literally, like I couldn't drink whiskey.
Right.
because
he drank
Jungle
too much
Juice.
before then.
Yeah.
And so I was like, never. And my buddy Rusty in North Van, he'd be like, dude, like I got some Glenfiddich or whatever, I don't know, from his clients and stuff. And he's like, just sit down, have some of this with me. I was like, oh, it tastes like a barrel. And I was like, I can't drink this stuff. So I was like, never, never, never. And then they had it at Christmas at the studio. Everyone was drinking it, and was there, and he had his 4 different types, and everyone had their types. And I was like, oh my God, I can't drink this stuff. He's like, oh, I can't drink this stuff. And he's like, I'm drinking this stuff. And he had been at lunch from noon till 5 anyways. So he was drinking. I was like, oh, I can't stand this crap. And then I don't know when it was, but someone goes, dude, let's do picklebacks. I was like, I'm not doing a pickle, because they're like, it's whiskey and a shot of pickle juice. I'm like, I love pickles. Took a pickleback.
Yeah.
I felt strong as an ox. I was like, this shit's the best.
It's Beer Friday, a group of animators getting together to swap stories and see whose is better. And of course, drink some beer. Yeah, Beer Friday is finally here.
Hey, I'm co-host Rich Johnson, and with me is co-host Brent Bouchard.
Hello.
And as you heard, we were with one of our guests, Jon Izen.
Hey.
He's an artist, animator, director. He's responsible for the Canadian animated series Yam which he also co-created with Jono Howard. Yeah. It was originally aired on CBC in 2006, and you can currently watch it at Jon Izen's home, I heard.
Yeah, actually, I don't even have a copy of it, but you can watch it on Hulu.
Hey,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So if you get like Ola on Google Chrome
Right.
or whatever, so you can get the American IP. If you were so ambitious, you can watch, I believe, like every episode. I haven't even seen it. I made them, but I've been trying to watch them on Hulu. I've heard they're funny.
It's on your to-watch list.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to finish Walking
There's
Dead
a lot
first.
of episodes, you know? Like, I don't know. I haven't had time.
Yeah.
And we're also here with Thom McKenna, who's also an artist, animator, 2D animator, director. Has worked in the animation industry for over, 150 years, I think it was.
Take off a 0. You got it. You got it.
Hey, it was a good guess.
I'm responsible for nothing. Except for perhaps the largest He-Man collection in North America.
Yeah.
And Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon, yes.
There's still a drawer at DHX that's just marked Tom stuff. It's just in the corner. I saw it.
What's in it?
I don't know. No one's looked inside. You're in denial about your He-Man collecting.
Yeah.
No, these are friends. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're not for me.
I'm like the He-Man tank that your dad sent you.
Right. Dude, I just threw that out.
What? You
Yeah.
threw out the Dragon Walker?
I did.
Oh, shit. That breaks my heart.
So, yeah, my dad, he's like addicted to garage sales, and he found He-Man's Dragon Walker for 25 cents. Gave it to me when I was in Ontario visiting. I brought it back here, and it was like in the box, but it was kind of beat up, and I was like, oh, he only paid $0.25 for it. And I kept it around for a few years, and then I was just, it's just sitting on a shelf for 4 years, and I just go, it's time to get rid of this, right?
That's what
You
they
brought
do.
it in. I
Yeah.
think you brought it in.
Oh, we raced it.
We raced it. We put a He-Man on it.
It startled the entire floor.
Is that considered racing it?
Yeah.
We put a He-Man on it.
Yeah, and we
well,
put
it
the-
scared several dogs.
We put the 2 D-cell batteries in it, turned it on, it was like...
Okay, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the beer that we're all drinking on this particular episode of Beer Friday. We selected a beer from Doan's Craft Brewing Company. It's located on Powell Street. It's quite tasty.
I say it's like Daddy got out for the first time in the year.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
yeah.
Lord,
it-
help me.
Does it get me fucked up?
Sweet nectar of the gods.
It's nutty.
Yeah, I think it's kind
No,
of
it's
like
nice.
caramel-y or
Yeah.
I don't know. I had one there before. I went there once. It's like a little tiny little brewery just off of Powell, kind of near the drive.
What's it called again? The brewery?
It's Doan, Doan. I'm maybe not pronouncing that correctly.
But you're right. There's like a ton of breweries around there. You can like do a little walking tour around there. And
A
just,
stagger.
Like 10 of them.
Really,
Yeah.
it's more of a falling
And they're
over.
open
Yeah.
during the daytime, and you can bring your kids in, so you don't feel like it's like it's like a
weird.
coffee shop, but it's beer.
I was actually at one of them. A fellow walked in with his like 10-year-old. And 10 minutes later, I looked over, and the 10-year-old had a taster of beer. Yeah, he turned into a 40-year-old. It was pretty rad, though.
They don't check ID
I'm
there.
sure it was fine. I'm sure it was like gluten free.
Yeah.
Right.
It was probably gluten free, because that's the problem with a kid drinking beer. It's the gluten.
You don't want them to turn red and like puff out.
My wife would be pissed.
Because that doesn't happen when you're drunk.
Yeah. You want them to get a nice clean drink on, you know?
Yeah.
Favorite thing.
Last night, I watched The Conjuring 2 with Deb, my wife, and we got through 30 minutes of it because it was so fucking scary. I couldn't finish watching it. There was one part which I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to get you guys to watch it. I might edit it down.
I'm a little
later.
nervous.
Yeah. And Deb like let out a scream like she was being murdered. And she was just like, I can't watch this anymore. We have to watch something else. And we had to turn on the lights. In fact, she went to bed with the light on. I found her like curled up with the light on. Really fan. It's based on a true story. That's the other thing.
Right. Is it based off the Amityville, or is
The
it
Amityville, yes.
Yes.
In order to like unwind from this, we ended up, I said, well, I'll just put on a comedy. So we had to watch Pop Star, Never Stop Stoppin' to like get it out of our system.
What?
And it kind of worked.
Is that Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have to do that after a horror movie or something. You have to do a little palate cleanser.
Especially as a grown-up, you have to.
Right, as a grown-up,
You
yeah.
really need to have a chaser.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I'm just at the computer now. I'm going to play a scene from Conjuring 2. Can you guys hear it?
Oh, yes.
My house!
Can we get a clean seat for John?
Yeah, that's the thing about horror movies. You know there's going to be the jump scare, right? But then you spend the whole time just the anticipation of waiting for that. Like, oh, fuck, something's going to jump out. It's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
Then they do a double fake, and then they sucker punch it.
Yeah.
And I would give a full review on this movie, but I didn't watch it all the way through. So.
Right.
Are you going to watch it all the way through?
Yeah, she actually, Deb this morning said, before you have the podcast, we can watch it in the daytime.
Like having a morning coffee, watching The Conjuring.
Like over a light lunch.
Yeah, we're going to cheat on a horror movie.
She was going to keep herself busy. And I was like, yeah, I could like set up the podcast. You do your
We
thing.
have it playing in the background.
Yeah. Just sort of ease in. It's like dipping a toe into that horror movie.
You need to get like the Cole's notes for The Conjuring and just kind of read
And
the
get
plot line.
get your mom to read them and tell you what the Cole's notes say.
Yeah, and skip over the scary words.
Is that bad that I used to get my mom to read the Cole's notes and then tell me about the book from the Cole's notes?
That's like double cheating right there. That's like the laziest way to cheat on a
Things
book
have never
report.
gotten
I
better.
remember like I didn't know what Cole's notes
Do
were
we know
in school.
about Cole's notes?
There's
everybody?
another
Yes,
name. There's
yeah.
another name somewhere in other provinces.
Basically like the cheat book.
Cliff notes.
Yeah.
Cliff Notes. That's
Notes.
right. That's right.
Yeah, if you didn't have time to read the whole book and you just read the clip, and I remember asking my mom, "Oh, what are those?" And she's like, "Oh, don't read those. It's bad."
Crime and
I thought
Punishment.
it was like the bad kids read those.
She was treating them like porn.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
don't talk. Don't look in those.
Any thin brochure, I'm like, don't touch.
If you want to understand the book, read the Cole's notes. Because if you're just reading it and trying to get the subtext, it's not
There
going
you
to
go.
happen for me. You know?
I used to just hand in my brother's essays. My brothers were like a few years older than me. It didn't even matter. If they said Hamlet, it didn't matter what the thing was. I'd look through the filing cabinet and my brother's like, "It's got a Hamlet essay."
Wait a minute.
I would hand it in.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I would literally hand it in and they'd be like, "What is this?" I would just copy it out, hand it in, copy it out. What is this? I don't know.
It came to
Fail.
me in a
It's
vision.
like, it's not even about what thing. I was like, yeah, I know.
You look at the
What I find interesting about this story is not that you were cheating, but that your brother had a filing cabinet full of his old
did.
essays.
He did.
Apparently, essays that weren't even
Anyways.
correct.
You know, when you grab an essay that you're going to cheat off of, it has a mark on the top, whether he's failed that essay or not.
Back to The Conjuring.
Well, actually, that's it. Brent, what's your
Okay, yeah.
what's your favorite thing this episode?
Thing I've been geeking out on lately, Star Wars related, The Force Awakens. Okay, there's a new theory that Rey from The Force Awakens is actually
There might be some spoilers here.
yeah, big time spoilers on The Force Awakens if anyone hasn't seen it.
Oh boy.
But there's like everyone thinks that Rey is Luke's daughter, right?
Yeah, that's a rumor.
Dude, let's
And
talk about it.
the idea is that Rey is a descendant of Palpatine. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Emperor's daughter,
Yes,
granddaughter.
And this,
That makes sense.
so she's got like Sith blood in her, right? And that sort of explains. There's a bunch of YouTube links you can check out and stuff that sort of get into it, but the basis is that she's got Sith blood in her, so she's one with the Force. You know, that makes sense. And when she goes to fight Kylo Ren, she's got this fighting style where she kind of does this forward thrust,
like an old man.
An aggressive.
yeah, like it's very emotion based, and it's this forward thrust, and she does this like forward hacking thing. And the only other person who's done that is Palpatine in the bad trilogy, the last
Right,
one, right?
the first three
Yeah.
story, but
And just that when she uses the Force, whether she's using reading Kylo Ren's mind or whatever, it's always like an emotion based thing, whereas like a Jedi would only use it defensively.
that seems like a strange, a slightly weak point in that theory to me is that this girl didn't even know she had the Force with
Right.
her up until something like 14 hours before she started using it. And she's not a trained Jedi, so anything she does is going to be more or less kind of emotion based.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why she's going to see Luke.
I guess there's some stuff too in the books, in the Force Awakens book, they get into when she's got Kylo Ren on the ground, she's like fighting, like she wants to kill him. In her head, it's like kill him, and she's fighting that, you know.
Right, she's fighting the urge to kill the guy.
They get into in the book. They don't really get into that in the movie that much.
Lucas actually admitted Darth was actually literally what he was said to be in the first movie, which was a rogue Jedi who turned to the dark side and killed Anakin Skywalker.
Right. Because there was some like books that were coming out at the same time as A New Hope before before The Empire Strikes Back, and they were sort of following Luke and Leia's storyline, and they were totally getting it on during those books, and it was like under Lucas's
Original.
original sort of storyline, right?
But I mean, that's how good stories evolve. I
Yeah.
mean, because obviously it wasn't meant to be a novel to begin with, and so everything was just based off his experimentation.
Yeah. But with this Rey thing, I just think it's too easy for her to be Luke's daughter or something.
I think easy and cliche in a way, but also
Yeah.
just boring as shit.
Yeah.
Because now you're forcing in a whole subplot that, you know, in this 30-year interim where we already have 30 years of stuff, we don't know exactly what happened. And now, okay, so Luke married someone, that someone is gone. They somehow had their only daughter marooned on a desert,
Right.
and he's off hiding on a planet meditating. So now you have to tie up all that. Whereas, you know, if she's a descendant of Palpatine, that's something you're like, oh, she was kidnapped by rebels early on to you know, save the royal line or whatever,
Right.
and marooned on that planet by accident.
Yeah, and then it gets into the very last scene in the movie too, where big spoiler, but Rey, you know, goes up the mountain, meets Luke at the top, and he just kind of pulls the hood down. He's looking at her, and he's like, "Oh fuck, here we go." You know, like the look in his eyes isn't like, "Oh hey, you're here, cool,
Yeah,
let's go hang
he's
out."
not happy.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh fuck," because he
like-
knows, you know, and she's handing him the lightsaber, right?
My
That,
head's spinning.
yeah.
My head's spinning.
You
I
haven't
swear to
seen
God.
it, have you?
No,
No.
I swear to God, no. The only thing that's going through my mind the whole
Yeah.
time you're having this conversation is I don't even know where my Uncle Morris is from. Like, I don't know where my Uncle Morris is from.
can't
And
do
you
it.
guys know
Yeah.
the lineage of all this stuff, and understandably so. But I wish I was joking that the last movie I saw was The Bodyguard. But I'm like, holy sheep shit, I can't invest myself.
Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard
Let's-
is the descendant of
RIP.
Palpatine. That's a theory online.
When she sings that song, Queen of
Yeah.
the Night, it's a
Right.
whole other
Yeah.
Sith
And there was-
undertone.
Anyways,
There was all
look,
those deleted scenes with her and the lightsaber. Shooting.
Yeah, that wasn't a katana originally. That they.
Oh, dude,
they
what a
cut-
scene. What a scene. The sheath.
Oh, that
And
is
then
sharp.
into the bed.
Yeah, bam.
My God.
I've never seen The Bodyguard.
Dude, it is insane.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what. He's a bodyguard.
Right.
He's a ninja.
Right.
He's a strong man. He's a lover. The dude has everything. It's unbelievable.
Except
Whitney. It is the best, worst movie I've ever seen.
What was
in
the
my
song?
life. You're up out of your seat and stop the plane, stop the plane. Well, that was like Hervé Villechaize. The plane. But yeah, that movie's insane. Like, it's so hilariously, phenomenally.
Yeah.
Anyways, rest in peace, Whitney.
Right.
You know, that's you know. But
Yeah.
anyways, I derailed everything. I derailed it.
You know what? It's a good time.
Honest.
No, I was done with the Star
I think
Wars.
it's a good time to go to Tom
Jesus
and
Christ.
just watch the.
been playing much outdated video games as if they were new. But yeah, I finished Majora's Mask. That was rad. Kicked some ass. It's a beautifully complicated game. I only had to look up several things before I knew what the shit I was doing.
See, it's
When you
different.
say look up, you're talking web? You're
the,
Googling?
Yeah, I was using the interweb.
Majora's Mask.
Kids who don't know what that is.
Because when you were, if you
That
were
wasn't
playing
around when Bodyguard was on. So.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was not at that point.
If you were playing that in the
We
90s,
can reference what
when it
was.
came out, you had to call like the
Nintendo Power,
hotline,
yeah,
right? Which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, there was a magazine, an entire magazine.
You
built
could call
around-
the Nintendo Power hotline.
Yeah.
they actually had a full staff of people.
There was like a 1-800 number. You'd call
That's
up.
after Super Nintendo.
Or
I'm not
sorry.
being a jerk.
Sorry.
No, yeah, it is
or-
after Super Nintendo.
Yeah, even during Nintendo. Like,
I have to qualify that I'm not being a jerk. but
yeah. I'd say from
I'm serious.
the whole time Nintendo had its run, like, you know,
They had Nintendo Power since like
mid
88 or
80s,
something
whatever.
like that.
It was a 900 number you'd call, and it was like, you know, so many dollars a minute, and you'd be like, I'm playing, you know, Majora's Mask. I need to know how to get past this boss, and they would like, okay, hang on, we'll just plug you into an operator. Give me a minute here, and then they'd set you up, and you'd be on there for 10 minutes. And they'd give you like a plan, and then you'd get off the phone,
So-
and your parents would be like, hey, why am I paying $30 for this phone?
But yeah, man, great game, a lot of fun. But beyond that, I started progressing through my my catalog of antiquated games, such as Oblivion.
What system is that on?
I'm playing it on the 360.
Okay.
I'm basically just killing a lot of time. But, you know, you think, okay, you get in there, you can do all sorts of crazy shit. You can weaponize, you can get all sorts of spells and awesome shit that you would love
That's
to
a
do.
game you got to put some serious hours into.
You
right?
do, and that's what I'm getting to. It's like I end up, you know, all those things you can do. You can go fight in dungeons. It's a huge map. There's caves and old ruins and stuff all over the place that you can just wander into at any time. Like the original Zelda, you can
Right.
just go anywhere.
So, like, that's the thing I don't like about, just to geek out for a minute here.
Yeah.
About the new Zelda games where you're going through and they kind of they herd you into a certain
it's a path. You have
know?
to go through the
But
story.
this one, it's more like it's just open it.
It has a story that's general, but you can pop in and out of it at any time. And there's little stories all over the place that you can also pop in and out of.
Right. Can you get lost? Like I remember getting lost in Zelda.
The original,
Yeah.
up in the mountains.
You just got to burn every bush on the screen and just like
Yeah, until
Check
it
every little
tells you
thing.
can't burn anything
yeah,
anymore.
you know, you're looking for a hidden doorway or something. You know.
It's a little bit like that. It like literally you can walk around for what feels like walking from where we are in downtown Vancouver up into the mountains. Like
So you're like playing and you're actually getting like fatigued. You're
yeah,
like,
you're getting bored. You're
man.
like, holy shit, how far does this world go? And that's like I'm an idiot, so I'm not following the story.
Right.
I'm like, I want to see what's up there. Can I walk to that fucking hill up there? And I do. And you end up killing like 3 hours. You're walking. Oh, there's a cave. Let's go in there. And then I end up, you know, killing a bunch of stuff. And you can take all the gear from things that you kill. And then you have to go sell that shit. So I spend 4 hours a week just taking shit I've taken from things, selling it. It's retarded. I'm like sitting there going, this is my downtime. This is time to have fun. And I find myself doing basically like grocery lists. Like, oh, I got to go out.
Right.
I got to sell this stuff, get money, and then I'll buy some other equipment.
You're playing
and
a
then-
game where you have errands to do.
Yeah. And like Kat's like, you know, what are you doing? Oh, and Kat's a huge gamer. My girlfriend,
Yeah.
Kat. And yeah, you know, she's like, oh, what are you doing? What'd you get up to? What's your character up to? And I was like, I'm selling
Just some housekeeping.
Yeah, just cleaning my house because I got too
yeah.
much crap laying
Just
around.
the old to-do list. You know?
So yeah, I play really old games really poorly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm into right now, and
Well-
it's a lot of fun.
It's a nice way to just
Yeah.
relax.
And it's
Yeah.
good that you check them off your bucket list. You're like, this game's been sitting around for 15 years.
I've got
I
a pile
finally
of
fucking got it.
15 Xbox 360 games.
Yeah.
Most of them Game of the Year edition type things.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what they were, but they were like $10 because they were in the bargain bin because it's a really outdated system. And I'm just rocking through them. But I've got some downtime coming up, so this is what I'm looking forward to: play some video games, do some art on the side, and that's life.
That's
I can't wait
right
for
there.
it.
This is all I got. Before I came here, I just told you I ate like an entire bowl of tzatziki, which is not a good thing.
I got to hear
I'm
the story
listening
about
to
that.
everybody.
Like,
I got nothing. I swear to God. From the time the Bodyguard came out, previous to that
1996.
probably was Pee-wee's Playhouse. I think it had stopped by then.
Yeah.
And then since then, I got nothing. I refuse to eat meals when I go out because I have to see what my kids are going to eat, so I don't waste money on like buying extra meals, and then the meals just sit there because they won't agree on having one thing or they won't agree on one appetizer, so I have to get them both the same thing because they're like crazy grumpsters. And so I got two crazy grumpy kids sitting at the table. They won't eat the same thing, so I got to get two different things, and then they don't eat either of those things. So I have to eat both of those things and wait till they get their meals because they're not going to eat their meals. And then one of the things comes with a full bowl of tzatziki, and I'm like, then they're eating their meal, so the only thing on the table is tzatziki. So I eat a whole bowl of tzatziki before I come here. And this is all I got. I got no video games. I got no point of reference for the world I live in. I'm like a grumpy old man that's got nothing.
And you
swear to God.
apparently grew up in the Depression. Finish your
And you have like
I've
an
been-
entire cucumber in your stomach right now.
Yeah.
I've been in a haze. Like I was lent a book by Johnny.
Johnny Darrow.
Yeah,
Johnny Darrow.
yeah. Stench of Honolulu by Jack Haney. And
Jack
holy-
Handy, the guy
yeah.
who used to do those SNL things.
Dude, Johnny's always like, he's like, watch this, do this, because we commute together, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, check this out. Have you see this? Did you see this? Did you watch the link? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what I do, but I
Like,
got no time.
I spent the last 5
like,
hours
there's
eating
nothing.
tzatziki.
Yeah, there's nothing. I got nothing. I can't answer questions. I can't address anything. I just got nothing. And then he's like, you gotta read this book. You gotta read this book. You gotta read this book. So I'm not reading it. I can't. I just can't. And so he gave it to me, and I read it, and it's the fucking funniest thing
Yeah.
I have read in so long. But regardless of
the only
that
book I've
what
read
that
in life.
statement means, but holy sheep shit! I couldn't believe how hilarious the dude writes a sentence and then turns a sentence on its ass.
Yeah.
Writes a sentence, turns a sentence on its ass.
I was just thinking about Jack Handy a couple days ago because the good thing about Twitter is just when comedians have like a funny one-liner that they put
They can
on,
drop it.
and that's what Jack Handy was doing back in like the 90s, like
Yeah.
with
It's
deep
true.
thoughts and all that.
Yeah,
He was
it's
just,
true.
It was just a thing, you know, and he was like way ahead of his time. And now that's all like everyone has a really short attention span, and he's all about the zingers, you know. I don't know, not
Yeah.
the zingers, but the one
And
the one-liners
literally
that-
the entire book
Yeah.
is zingers. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my God. So yeah, I would say you have to read it, and it's a total bathroom book, right? Like you can it's
Which is the only place he can read.
and that's actually true. That's actually true, and barely that. And it's and of course it's good because the chapters are like 3 pages long, literally. Is the only other current thing I got is I watched a GIF of a little kid getting run over by another little kid in one of those little motorized toy cars. Oh my God!
Like
and
a Power
granted,
Wheels?
this might not have been current, but I've never seen anything so insane in my life. It's oh my God!
You're like, oh,
Look,
kids
dude,
getting injured.
Dude, this thing, like, look. Anyways, I know this is completely moronic for me to even bring up. You've never seen a happier kid in front of a little truck.
John's eyes just disappeared.
Oh, man. We lost him.
He's gone. The vein on his forehead has
Yeah.
tripled in size.
He's reached Nirvana.
Kid's so fucking happy. Either he's playing in front of this little, like, little like whatever, I don't know, a Barbie truck or some shit, and he's like ha ha ha, and one wrong step, the dude's flat on his face, and the Barbie truck rolls right over him. It's so cool.
Wow.
Oh my god. Anyway, that's my current, like, hey guys,
John's
you want to
number
share
one
something
thing
current?
right now.
I
A
saw a GIF.
Okay, so that wraps up the favorites. We're gonna go into fucking snack time, guys.
Snack time.
Snack time.
Fat Boy's representing.
Yeah.
We don't have the chief Fat Boy.
Fat Boys
Kool-Aid in the house, but
Fat Boys being because during production of Dr. Dimension Pants, or maybe I shouldn't say the production, it doesn't matter.
yeah, we were just.
But
I think we're okay to say that.
How many idiots in a room? Four idiots in a room?
Yeah.
Let's guess.
4 idiots in
It
a
was
room.
us
So 3
and,
directors
and
the
Pat
art
Pakula,
director.
the
Four-
art director. Yeah. And in a really small office, like I was almost bumping Pat's
It
chair
was
when
a
I
very
would.
small office.
Well, we
And-
had to make room for a 3-foot Millennium Falcon.
That's
so,
true.
And it-
sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like idiots in a room, and I like chips.
I can't remember how that started.
It started just because. Well, it kind of started because there would be a Coke every once in a while. Like,
We did buy
Right.
that mini fridge.
Well, the mini fridge, came to
Like a
accommodate.
Coca-Cola.
I think. You guys got the most
Coca-Cola.
Right, yeah,
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Okay.
You guys
The pop.
spent $80 on like the shittiest fridge I've ever seen in my life. We had to make cardboard shelves, actually
Dude,
paper
that's
shelves
how
that are
much-
still in there.
That's how much those fridges are.
Yeah, it was you. They're that much new.
Yeah, you might be right.
You bought garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you might be right.
it was a piece of shit.
You might
But
be right.
anyways, we were buying. It was like I need a Coke. Like I was delirious that whole year, right? I was like
John
I'm-
hadn't slept in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm drinking Coke, and then everyone's getting a Coke every once in a while. I was like, we should just start getting flats of Coke.
That's right.
And you were
So then
like, I got a Costco card. Does anyone have a car?
I got a Costco card. Does anyone want 7-layer dip?
And then we're like, what goes with a flat Coke? Oh, I know. 2
7?
pounds of guacamole and like a 30-pound bag of tortilla chips.
And 3 bags of pretzel chips.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Did you how much
Four
much weight did you gain during Dr.
Dude, it
Dimension
was.
Pants?
I don't know. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
We would sit there, stare at each other. Like Bouchard would make some stupid joke, and so then everyone would try and one up him, and no one was funny. And so we would turn around, stare at each other for a few minutes with nothing to say, and go
cricket
"I
noises?
yeah, and then we go, I guess we should eat chips. And then we would crack out the chips, and then the dip would come out, and then we're like 4 idiots in the room eating 7-layer
Just-
dip at 2 in the afternoon.
Oh,
Well,
man.
man, I remember coming in there like I wasn't a part of this. I still gained weight though, but it was from the lunches. And I remember coming in and had a question or something, or most of the time was just so I could like hang out with you guys because it was like really
It
fun in
wasn't
there.
a real question. It was like,
Yeah.
hey, guys.
You're like, I heard you guys were breaking out the guacamole. I just all of a sudden have a question.
Hey, guys, I had a question about some editing stuff. Oh, is that 7-layer dip?
I could hear the chip bags opening. Ooh, time to go over and visit the Fat Boys.
Do you remember when Rebecca sent a Christmas card marked to the Fat Boys?
She did.
Yeah, she did. And we had it on the door for a little while. Guys, I was at a dollar store in Chinatown and I found some.
A fine place.
Talking about
Find yourself.
segues.
Yeah. This is a hot chili chip and it's a rich cut. So that's
Hey, nice.
that's like,
rich
yeah,
guy.
like a Rich
Hey,
Johnson.
wow.
And then based on the diagrams, what I can only estimate is shrimp flavored.
It's a diagram.
Crabs.
chips.
Yeah, crabbed cross dressers or something.
Yeah.
They've got
I'm
some
a
sort of
diagram
lipsticks
artist.
on.
There's 2 lobsters eating the lobster chips.
I think they're
which is-
crabs. I think they're crabs.
They're crabs. Oh yeah, they are crabs.
They have no tails.
Yeah.
There is an ingredient.
Yeah,
on
but they're
the,
eating their own chips.
Yeah.
So either they're recommending them
What is
or
it?
they are.
I think what
them.
they're saying is the chips are so good, even the crabs are gonna eat them.
the crabs are. Yeah, they'll cannibalize each other.
There's an ingredient on the potato chips.
Yeah, if anyone has any
That's-
weird allergies, like better check it out. 'cause
Yeah.
you might,
Is anyone allergic to silicone?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you dead serious?
I'm going for the hot chips first.
Well, the hot chips aren't actually that hot.
yeah, you know what? They're not even that hot.
The other one is the lobster chips.
No,
crab chips.
Crab chips. Is it? Oh man, they kind of look like styrofoam chips that you
They
like
do.
do packaging.
Yeah, these-
packaging.
They kind of
These are
feel
like-
like it too.
They look like a flat, kind of puffed up cheesy.
Oh man.
It's like a chip that fell in the sea at low tide.
It's a
then
really
sun
good
dried
selling point.
Yeah.
This summer camping.
I'm going for a bunch of them though.
I'm going to combine the two because I think that's a little bit like you would have.
I'm with
So
Rich.
I just did that. That
It's
is
like
so
shrimp
disgusting.
cocktail.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
That's
good.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
Bam.
I'm going in.
Wow.
Equal parts.
Good combo.
I'm a
With all of us
garbage
chewing on the microphones, I remember we were editing on Doctrine of Mensch Pants, and Jon Izen came in, and you just sat down. And you went, "You know what I fucking hate?" I was like, "What, John?" I just fucking hate it when people eat. The sound of people eating, and I went, "Me too." And I think I told you, like, and you went on like a rant about it, and then I went, "Yeah, I do too."
As he does.
It's an awful sound, which we're doing right now. And then I said to you, "I just think we need to relax." And then you just sort of nodded, like, "Yeah."
That was a rough year. That was a rough year. Holy shit. I was completely delirious the entire year.
Well, let's think about that year. You were commuting, I don't know, a couple hours a day, and a new
From
baby.
the Sunshine Coast.
Newborn. My dad was sick. My brother
Yeah.
was sick.
So there was a couple
It
things
was
going
like-
on.
Up at 5 a.m. every day.
Every time I move the mic,
Getting
it makes
on
that
a boat.
burp. Every time
That sounded like a burp.
listeners, if you hear this, it's me trying to get the microphone close to Jon
my
Izen's mouth so we can hear him. Maybe I should turn up your
I like
gain
that
a little
Rich
bit.
has gone to the stand-up comedian route, and he's just walking around with a microphone now.
It's a little more comfortable, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like we're at a party. We're drinking beer, and then
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to stand
I
up,
just-
get the
I
blood
just-
Plus, when you
flowing.
turn your head as one does to talk to someone, and we're all sitting in a circle, you end up going off the mic. But when you're standing, you always got the mic with you.
Yeah.
I just brought up, and I don't remember the exact thing I said, and maybe you do remember. I was talking to Johnny about you, and and Alana was like, "Oh, we have an editor that's I think we're going to be using. He's going to come to DHX. She's coming up to meet us. Do you want to come up and meet him?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come up and meet him." And it was you. And I don't know what I said. It was like, listen,
I remember.
listen. Yeah, okay, good. Because all I remember was like, I was like looking at you.
the
And
first
I was
time
like, yeah, you look like a nice guy. And I'm like, I didn't care, right? Like, I don't know you. And I'm like, yeah, like, we need an editor. Seems like a nice guy. And you were like, your back is to the North Shore, right? So I'm looking out the window, and I see the North Shore behind you. And you're sitting there, and you seem like
those
a
big
funny
windows
guy.
when the
And
sun
then-
coming in behind me.
yeah,
with
the
a
sun's coming
backlit.
up, and I was like, "Yeah, I think you seem like a great guy. You like your show. It's a funny show." And then what did I say? I said something like, "You're like super handsome."
I was like, what the fuck?
I
But
mean,
you explained the backlighting
Yeah, it
or
was the
something.
moment,
or,
yeah, I
like
think
you
it
were
was-
just tripping out. Like
it
I
was
thought
like that
you
moment.
smoked a joint or something. And then I wasn't really sure about you. I'm like, oh.
But it
What
was
am I
like,
getting
Rich
myself
is sitting
into?
with his back to the
Right.
mountains, and it was like one of those
The
moments
sun
where
was
it's like
setting.
a Farrah Fawcett kind of
Yeah.
moment, right?
Yeah,
It was like the glow,
It hit all the stress lines.
and the rest is history. The
Yeah,
fart
yeah.
doctor came.
So if the lighting had been horrible in that room, you wouldn't have got the job.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know. I actually I'm gonna do that
If
next
it was
time I
like
have a job
under
interview.
fluorescent
From now
light,
on,
early morning, in
Rich
a
always
windowless
brings
room.
a backdrop of mountains.
Right.
Yeah, it
Wherever
worked
you
once.
do.
Yeah, what are you doing? It's just a comfort thing when I go to meetings.
Yeah, I just set up some lighting before this interview. It's no problem here.
Story time.
Like my entry into real work in the industry was my first job storyboarding, and it's sort of just like it's so funny because I worked with a bunch of crazy talented dudes in an insane asylum, and it was a crazy place to work. And essentially what would happen was I would sit down at my desk, and in those days you had a mirror. You had a mirror at your desk, so check your expression and put that into whatever you're drawing or whatever. And my mirror was never facing me; it was always facing behind me because I had dudes behind me that were continually throwing garbage at me. I was forced to sit beside the ghetto blaster over my ear, so I had it was like this cross between, they would mix tapes in those days, heavy metal, Weird Al Yankovic, punk, like it was like super intense.
Really relevant.
From horrible to funny to ridiculous to brutal. And then constantly having garbage thrown. So like I'm drawing and then bull clip, broken pencils, paper over my desk, and my mirror is focused behind me so I can try and catch the culprits trying to give me a nervous breakdown while I'm working. But anyways, it was totally hilarious, and it was sort of like just the initiation you had to go through. And I don't know. That was like the entry into just like
place, eh?
hey, yeah, it was insane.
What was that?
I said that was sort of commonplace, like
In the early days.
like almost like
It was a madhouse. It was
Yeah.
a fucking madhouse, and it was fantastic. Like, and I came in shy and timid, like as a even though I was an old man, my nickname was Old Man Izen, because these dudes, like a lot of them were like younger than me, more like fucking crazy talented, and so I was still Old Man Izen, but it was like this just wild fucking west of lunatics, and like every Friday we would have wrestling in the studio until the people downstairs like put an end to that because it was full on, like we'd have some beers and do full on wrestling. So I'd have dude up in the air for a suplex, like, do you wanna say it? And everybody's around going rah, and rah, down onto the ground and smashes, like so fucking crazy. Anyways, it was like shirts getting ripped off, screaming, like, and this was Friday afternoon. Like
This was animation, not pro wrestling.
yeah. Well, and then even dudes would be like full carpet burn, and I know you guys, you might have heard this story before, but it's like one dude sitting at his desk after the wrestling match, and he had full carpet burn on his elbow, and he's like, I gotta get back to work, and so he gets back to work, and dude walks over, check this out, opens a little paper thing of salt, soup, tick, 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 tick. Puts it in his cut. So the dude's sitting there drawing, and then dude goes tick, 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 tick. Salt, and then dude's just drawing. And it's like, oh my, it's so crazy. But this is just like that was work,
Right.
Just like it was gold. It was gold.
The
It was
days
gold.
before HR.
Yeah.
Right.
And can I drop one more just like ridiculous situation? This is a different workplace, but it was great because I was like at a satellite office, and so the main office was in another city, and it was a bunch of ding dongs in the satellite office, so nobody was really running it, and like we did a good job, and it's anyways. So summer comes, and my family wants to go back to Vancouver, and so I was like, yeah, you guys go back to Vancouver. I was like, I want to go to Vancouver with you. So I'm like, I'm going to go to Vancouver. So I tell my production manager, I'm going to go to Vancouver. So I was like, I book a ticket for 3 weeks to Vancouver. My boss didn't know, like in the main office. And so then my boss calls up my production manager and goes, hey, I'm coming up there with a sort of a big financial, like co-production, co-pro, whatever financial dude. We're coming up there. We're going to hang out with Eisen, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, you're coming up here to hang out with Eisen? Yeah. We'll have a good time. She goes, he's not here. What, is he homesick? He's in Vancouver. What? Yeah, for like the summer. I was like, just go to Vancouver. I don't care. Anyways, it was gold, just like running by the seat of my pants. And it was like, I didn't even get in poop. Like the boss was phenomenal, dude. And he was like, all right. Like, like he didn't tell me, he didn't tell anyone. He's just leaving. Like I worked while I was in Vancouver. Yeah. I still work, but it was just like, it was hilarious, just like running by the seat of your pants and doing whatever you want. Yeah. But as long as as long as you did an incredible job, as long as you busted your butt and were still kind of present in some way, fuck, nothing mattered.
Yeah.
Do whatever the hell, And if they would fire you, well, then I don't
But it
know.
was like they treated everyone like adults, right? Like if you did your work, there was leeway on the other side. Right?
Yeah,
You're
even
like
if you were
adults that
supposed to
have the
be in
attention
another
span of a
city.
child.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny, man. It was funny. It was good. It's good.
Interject with a Yam roll story quickly. Friend of mine, unrelated to anything. It was like years ago, and he was like, "Holy shit!" Like a friend of mine he knows I work in the animation industry, but he was like, have you seen this fucking show Yam Roll? He's like, honestly, he was like, I was watching the CBC, this thing just came on. He was like, it was fucking crazy. I was like, yeah, actually, I know the guy who created that. It was,
A 30-something-year-old man.
Yeah, he's my
was
age.
excited.
Yeah, 30.
My line is usually like, "Oh, you're the one person that's seen the show."
But dude, he was all over it. He's like, what the fuck was that? I was like, yeah, a friend of mine made that. He's like, oh shit, no way. Anyway,
That's
was all.
ultimately it.
Yeah,
man.
and
We
that
just
was
had
it,
a
right?
ton of fun.
Yeah.
Probably why I can still be in the industry because I was able to have a bunch of fun and realize a lot of things, and it helps me realize things as I go.
You're a realizer.
That's what I.
He needs some help realizing things.
That's what I coined myself as, the realizer. I'm having a seminar at the Hotel Fort Garry in Winnipeg, actually, as Jon Izen, the realizer. Tickets are. We can.
It's
talk
at
about
midnight.
He talks like Arnie the whole time.
Right.
I'm the realizer.
Yeah.
No, I talk like Andre.
Hey, anybody ever been sailing on a boat? So anyways, if you get into animation, I'm gonna wrap my hands around your neck and we squeeze.
Anyways, I'm just talking like a stupid fool. So,
I'm so glad that happened.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know what just happened.
Andre the Giant just
Anybody ever
walked
been
in.
on a boat?
You should be a voice
I don't know
actor.
what
But
Oh,
you
dude.
are a voice
He's
actor.
done it.
You've done some
Oh,
voice.
I've dabbled.
Yeah, monster number 6 and 7.
Yeah. Coach
well,
Monster?
Tommy, speaking of voice actors.
I know.
Yeah.
Dungeon
No
Master's
cutting.
mom over here.
Yeah. What was the line? What were we trying to get? You got to remember.
Dungeon Master Pool.
There we go.
Oh, shit. The longest line that ever got cut directly out of the first time it was ever in
You
the
can't
show.
get in the booth anymore.
Actually, that line killed the series.
Yeah, it killed it.
I know, John, you have a voice too.
You're saying
Your
Like,
mom. Your mom. I
Oh
think.
yeah. That's too forced. We're pushing it in there, but I don't know. I don't know if I.
You know what? There was a story you told me about your mom. I know, like this isn't whatever.
Yeah, it's off the
But,
record.
it's totally off the record. But there's a story of your mom.
that said,
Speaking
we're
to the
still
mic.
recording.
Speaking of the mic.
You guys were in the car.
This is going live.
You were in the car, and it was like a conversation between your mom and your dad, I think. And the context, fuck. So
I think I know what you're talking about. It was about aliens.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay, so I can drop that. I can drop that conversation. Do we have time? We got time
Yeah.
to drop that.
We
conversation?
got time.
It was just
Do we have
about
time, Brent.
It was just about, and I don't know if we'll see if I can recount this. So I'm like, there has to be aliens. Like, and it was at a time when there was that press release or whatever from some Canadian defense minister that said there are aliens on Earth. Americans work with them.
He was actually an American admiral.
Oh, okay. I thought he was a Canadian dude.
It might have been Disclosure Project in the late 90s. Canadians, Americans, Europeans, Russians, everybody came together.
But this was
Do go on.
Anyway,
yeah. It was the first. Like I just watched it with someone, and he's saying that aliens exist, and Americans are like work with them, like straight up, whatever. So I don't know, like whatever. Who knows, you know? And so I'm going to the ferry with my folks, and
As an adult man.
Yes. Yeah. I'm taking them to that because I commute, right? So I have to go on the ferry. So I'm bringing my folks over to our place. So I'm going to the ferry. I'm telling my mom about this dude. And she kind of likes, like, what? She goes, this is just crazy talk. And I go, what are you talking about? It's crazy talk. I go, there's no aliens? Of course there's no aliens. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course, there's no aliens. The universe is unspeakably, unconscionably large, and you think that there is nobody, no one, no other beings. Of course there isn't. Don't be silly. That's crazy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. I go, look, what would you do if, and it's like if on her deathbed, Sandra Kaplan, your best friend, says, Barbara, all these years, I have to tell you something. I'm not from this planet. I'm from another planet. I'm like, that would affect you in some way? You've been friends with her your whole life and you couldn't accept that? Of course I couldn't accept that. Listen to me. I've had a good life and I don't need to know. And so, anyways, that's essentially where, and it escalated from there. But that, I believe, is the conversation you're talking about.
I've had a good life, and I don't need to know.
I don't need to know. And then when at the studio, I'd be yelling, like we'd have storyboard handoffs in the office beside Casey's.
Right.
And I remember one time coming out after a meeting, I think with John Young, where I was screaming at him.
I think I was at that meeting.
And
John Young, hopefully a future guest.
yeah, that would be a good guess.
The storyboard artist.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
And so I was screaming at him, I think, saying
Stand
that
up
he had better bring his A game, and I want him to show up in wrestling tights when he comes back, so we can ensure that he understands the wrestling stuff that he has to do. Anyway, so I come on, I say to the office manager, I was like, "Can you hear everything that goes on beside there when I'm talking, I'm screaming?" And she goes, she kind of like shrugs her shoulders, like, yeah. And then I think it was Sarah Nathanson maybe that walks
on the
by.
other side of the wall.
And she walks by and goes, especially when you're imitating your mother.
Tom, your back pocket story.
Oh, yeah, Back Pocket Stories. Yeah. I got offered a directing job with one of the co-hosts, Brent Bouchard. Both of us under the,
Don't know the guy.
most esteemed tutelage.
Steamed.
The mostly esteemed tutelage
My toodles
of
are steamed.
Jon Izen, our other guest, on a small show called Dr. Dementia Pants. That was probably the single greatest time in my life.
I don't know why we're laughing.
Well, mostly because we all know it was possibly the worst possible time in John's life.
Yes.
It was a fun show, man.
I heard you were saying it was big in South Africa.
It was. We rocked it in South
Yeah,
Africa.
we
for-
nailed that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the fact, we heard it was very popular there.
Yeah. The people that had TVs in South Africa were watching Dr.
Yeah.
Dimension
Yeah,
Pants.
That's it.
Which made us think it was like we were the sugar man.
Like,
of,
I don't know.
of
Yeah.
cartoons, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Check it out on
Yeah.
Netflix, The
Yeah.
Sugarman.
Like,
Well,
we're
we'll put a
underground.
link.
We're
Don't look for Dr. Benjamin.
I teed it
Check out
up.
Sugar
yeah,
Man.
you teed it up. You teed it up.
We did have nothing to do with Sugarman. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't do anything on that.
It was a fun, for real. I think it was a pretty cartoony show. I think the animation, we ended up pulling it out pretty great. And it was a ton of fun to make. And I don't know what happened. For real. I think anyways.
You never know what's gonna.
For myself, professionally, I think there's a lot of things we could have done more. We weren't sure of what the envelope was. We had to deal with the fact that it was a show that wasn't any of our personal property.
Right.
There was a creator. There were two
With a specific vision.
Yeah, with a specific vision, and he had cradled this idea for some years prior to it getting picked up, and then he was directing us from out of the country. But on top of that, we weren't sure what our parameters were.
Yeah.
But
That said, we had a lot of
forgetting
freedom.
all of that, we had a lot of freedom within our little box
Right.
in the world,
And we ran with it whenever we could.
Yeah. And then, of course, Rich was brought in to edit the whole thing. So we had completed a perfect quartet of ridiculous.
The Circle of Fools.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was the most fun I ever had.
And that'll guarantee one season of a show anytime.
I remember it was a Christmas party. It was at the Christmas party, and I met one of the artists that worked in the studio, and I was like, "Yeah, so are you? I'm the editor." He goes, "Oh, all right, so you're in that little room where you guys laugh all day."
yeah.
There was so much screaming coming out of that little office.
Well, that's it, man. That's the podcast. Thanks guys for coming on.
Thanks, dudes. It was great.
Freaking blast.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Brent.
Thanks, you
Brent.
guys.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank
too.
you guys.
Thanks, Deb.
Thanks, Magic Thumb. Thanks, Deb.
Thanks, Deb, for not hating
Thanks,
us.
Magic Thumb.
Tom, do you have anything you want to plug or anything? Like, do you got stuff going on right
I
now?
want to plug. All I can say is, stay frosty.
What?
What was that?
Nothing. I was just paying attention.
John, did you want to?
Little gassy.
Yeah.
Do it.
Hey, listen. But for real, my brother's book. I illustrated a book about my. It's the story of my brother's prostate cancer and to raise awareness for prostate cancer. I illustrated the book. We've published it. It's printed. And I think we're going to have a launch on October 15th.
What's it called?
The book is Finger Up the Bum. And I think if you go to fingerupthebum.com, you can check it out and probably order it. But if you go there or October 14th, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a launch.
Nice.
For it. So you can probably check that out, find out about it maybe on my Facebook.
What do you know where the launch is going to be? Or?
It's going to be on Columbia. I don't know. There's two like pop-up shops sort of in Chinatown-ish on Columbia before Hastings.
Okay,
so
it's kind of questionable.
Yeah, it is totally. No, but they're nice. They're
don't
cool.
be walking around and go, hey, finger up the bum. Know where it is?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's not absolutely solidified yet. But you should check out Finger Up the Bum.
Check the website first.
Fingerupthebumbook.com.
Don't go wandering around Columbia asking for finger up
you do
the
the
bum.
search, it's pretty fucked. But if you do Finger Up the Bum Book, it's a little less. You get a few less porn bots
several
following
less
you. You know,
books.
the ads don't all end up being about vibrators. And
What's
stuff.
your brother's name?
Michael Eisen?
Michael Eisen.
Yeah, Michael Eisen, and it's a great book. It's like a bathroom book. His story, but raising awareness and just the idea of you may as well get that shit checked out because you don't want to end up being in a shitty situation, quote unquote.
Cool. Thanks, John.
Right on, dudes.
Brent, you got a your band playing or anything?
Brett, you got anything you want to say?
No, I don't.
You don't have gigs?
Really? You don't have
By the time this airs,
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
think so. No.
So look up Trade Your Children on...
Yeah, but the band you're talking about, Trade Your Children.
Yeah.
I don't know. Google it. See if we're playing. We might be, but probably not.
Don't Google that. Trade your children with Up Your Bum.
No, you can. It's okay. You can totally do that. It's fine. You just end up on a list somewhere.
Oh.
Edit.
Yeah, that's not going in. All right, and I got nothing.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Thanks,
It's been a
dudes.
blast.
It's Beer Friday, a group of animators getting together to swap stories and see whose is better. And of course, drink some beer. Yeah, Beer Friday is finally here.
1, 2,
Are we live?
Are you
Checkity
It's
check.
like, are you
Check,
getting
check.
this? Oh my god! I think I just got something in my throat.
In my penis.
I think I have something stuck in my penis. I'm sorry, I can't talk. It feels like something in my throat, but it's not my throat. It's in my penis.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. It's great.